1 year since the first dispatch of the color bar, almost to the day. That was on LinkedIn. I since dual published there and here on Substack. Do have a little listen to what I had to say about it in the video. No candles and streamers, but yes, something to put a marker in. My weekly forays in connecting the dots between creativity, culture, and tech have quietly found their own rhythm. Hours after I sent out last week's piece, which included a bit about Meta's vibes and Runway's foom, OpenAI announced Sora 2 and the much talked about social media esque feed. I am less than whelmed by the existence of such apps for a multitude of reasons. Enough to do a video and groan a little about it this week. But apart from the mind melting barrage of genAI content, we can always find real craft and texture. This week, drawn to craft Hermes' social media pages, creative collaboration, and delight. Curated Cuts sees Willem Dafoe trying to describe Laphroaig, the whiskey, and Jonty Rhodes, the ex South African cricketer, wants his money back. Social Slop, an obsession around generative AI to produce bursts of debatable creativity. Is this the best we've got? Plus, ChatGPT will connect your apps, question marks over Lionsgate AI ambitions, Netflix says cheers, Instagram announces awards, layoffs at Fiverr, and a piece on performative yearning. A year in and still combing creativity, culture, brands, and tech every week. Drawn to craft. Even if you're not a fashionista or a fashion buff, stumbling onto Hermes' Instagram page might leave you refreshingly surprised. There are the expected blasts of fashion photos and runway clips, but equally you will find artist contributions. Hermes is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, luxury fashion brand, so it has a distinctly heritage feel to it, aloof even. But their choice to commission an eclectic group of artists shows a commitment to creativity and a confidence to stride many paths. It also means we have some very diverse, vibrant, captivating pieces to feast our eyes upon. These span sketch, illustration, stop motion, painting, 3D, stills, animation, music, giving us oddities, elegance, amusement, and joy. Introducing the 2025 theme of the year in January, artistic director Pierre Alexis Dumas said, "Drawing is everything at Hermes, and everything starts with drawing." Of course, the crossroads between art, craftsmanship, and the championing of creativity is hardly out of place. That happy place has been a natural home for Hermes. Known for slow, timeless luxury, their social media presence leans into an effervescent, always in motion feel. Its collaborative approach to social media wants to somehow offset an aura of exclusivity with easy digital access. What does that tell us? This is a brand driven by aesthetics and craft. It is a creative curator, tastemaker, patron. What does this do? It attracts a wide audience drawn in by delight and art. In doing so, the brand gently tells us it appreciates craft, creativity, and color. But maybe most of all in 2025, Hermes' invitation into a world of collaboration and creativity resonates because it embraces human effort and originality. It is a clear and welcome choice in a time when the chance derivative creativity of generative machines could easily have replaced it. And talking of machine generated creativity, Slop Social. Hours after I sent out last week's dispatch, which included a piece about vibes from Meta and Runway's Foom, OpenAI announced Sora 2. Along with a new generative model, it launched an app called simply Sora. Despite being invite only, the app reached number one on the US App Store charts. Its key feature, an AI based social media esque feed populated entirely with content created with and by the Sora tool. It includes a feature called Cameo, which asks to scan in your face and voice, etc. This then basically enables you to create videos featuring, why, featuring you, of course. Fancy yourself an astronaut or a gymnast, or chatting with an ancient samurai, or swimming with sharks, or talking to crocodiles, or exploding a car. You get the idea. You can also use others' likenesses to create videos of them, and they of you. That's right, no dangers of misuse whatsoever. I've got a little collage of headlines here, such as OpenAI Sora 2 is an unholy abomination. Everything is fake on Silicon Valley's hottest new social network. OpenAI Sora 2 thrills and alarms the internet. SpongeBob memes and deepfakes all the way down. Meta's infinite slop machine watching AI videos. AI videos empty new world. Kiss reality goodbye. AI generated social media has arrived. Now, I am less than whelmed by the existence of such apps for a multitude of reasons, enough that I did a quick reaction video to it here, which I have linked to. Look, I understand many people will not be grappling with ethical and legal questions. We all likely should, but the reality is the vast majority couldn't be bothered. It's mindless, it's fun for now, and that will ensure some momentum. The question is whether this is a flash in the pan or will it be part of social media changing dramatically. YouTube veteran Casey Neistat has a nice little video on how this could evolve the creator scene. Curated cuts. As always, do have a look at the videos I've linked to. The first is Laphroaig with Willem Dafoe. Growing a beard in your throat, a smoky cornucopia of delight, sucking on a burnt match, a volcano in a bottle. Honey. Willem Dafoe is a new friend of Laphroaig, as they call them, the smoky whiskey from the windswept Isla. In this new collaboration, the odd and oddly charming actor tries to pin down what the peaty whiskey really tastes like, with a little help from other friends. Said Defoe, they had a central idea that was amusing that plays with the inability to define the taste of the whiskey, a sort of poetic parody of pretentious expert tasters' language. They did a little short film around 3 minutes long, which is quite engaging. This might sound like PR fluff, but I have to agree with the bit from the release. Just like our single malt, Willem offers an unmatched intensity that's seen him bring countless complex and unforgettable performances to life. Jonty Rhodes wants his cash. Jonty Rhodes, the widely liked South African cricketer and now coach, has been plugged into India for some time now. Check out his occasional social posts, and I love how he rides around on his bike. The new Indian payment app Super Money roped him in for a fun spot. It's gimmicky, but in a good way. ChatGPT has announced connecting with apps within the service. This includes Spotify, Booking.com, Coursera, Canva, and a few others. What does this mean? Chat directly with the apps and get their responses or steps within ChatGPT. You need to connect the apps to ChatGPT and hence share your data. Think asking Canva to create slides or Spotify to suggest a playlist. It's a value add in ChatGPT, but also a different way we might end up using or leveraging those apps. It could have some very interesting and powerful usage examples coming up. Also, ChatGPT says they might suggest those apps as well in a response, even if you have not asked for it. Brand and advertising integrations ahoy. Lionsgate announced a partnership with generative AI firm Runway last year, one of the early studios to do so, you might recall. The ambition was, or is, to make scenes and even films using the technology, and Lionsgate owned Catalog. Then, in case we had forgotten, their CEO famously said earlier this year about adapting an action franchise, quote, now we can say, do it in anime, make it PG-13, 3 hours later, I'll have the movie, end quote. Now, a report from The Wrap says the deal has not quite gone to plan. Quote, the Lionsgate catalog is too small to create a model, a source said. In fact, the Disney catalog would be too small to create a model. Some more quick hits. Quote, online we yearn, offline we don't linger long enough to actually ache. A fascinating piece on performative yearning in Gen Z, manifested via social media, which is essentially the expression of everything. A quote, it's like being in on the vibe matters more than actually living it. End quote. AB InBev has announced a partnership with Netflix. This includes co-promoted shows and live events to limited edition packaging and much more. This has been facilitated by Super Connector. Instagram has announced awards. Rings celebrates those who, quote, aren't afraid to take creative chances and do it their way. Judges include the likes of Spike Lee, MKBHD, Grace Wales Bonner, Marc Jacobs, and others. Fiverr will lay off 250 of its employees. This from the company who said nobody cares about using AI in their musical spot last year. Not a surprise given their CEO's missive earlier this year when he said AI is coming for your jobs. Heck, it's coming for my job too. This is a wake up call. I end with a quote from that piece on performative yearning. Posting about heartbreak makes me feel like I'm starring in a film. In real life, I'd never let anyone see me cry, but online, it feels beautiful. My other Substack newsletter sees eclectic and curious storytelling. It's called Coffee and Conversations. Last week, for example, I did a video piece about the haunting photo from Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, a promising album announced by Gorillaz, and a little Tarantino news. Have a look, would you? That's it for me this week. It's been a year of doing the color bar, and I look forward to doing more. Please do ping me with any feedbacks, recommendations to feature, or ideas to collaborate. I work with individuals and teams on content and creativity.